One of the first things that probably come to mind when you ask Ukrainians about their Easter traditions is Pysanky. Those famous eggs, created by the written wax batik method and utilizing traditional folk motifs and designs mostly associated with the symbolical resurrection of Christ from the dead. Zoya is a Pysanky master. She traveled around Europe and even in Japan, where she taught how to paint on eggs, following the Ukrainian tradition. She started to make Pysanky 28 years ago.
At that time, it was the 90s when Ukraine became independent. Pysanky were banned in Soviet times because they were considered as religious symbols. Therefore, we studied this art from ancient books of the 19th century, where the ornaments and patterns of Pysanky were preserved. Scientists created albums. They collected Pysanky from people and then they were catalogued. Thanks to this, about 4,000 different traditional Pysanky variants have been saved.
Marina is making Pysanky for the first time today. This graphic designer got used to draw a lot of different motifs with her graphic tablets, but not the traditional ones, and not on eggs, of course. After having traced guidelines in pencil to section off her blank egg into a grid pattern, she meticulously covered the pencil lines with beeswax, using an instrument called a kitska.
Yeah, it's the first one with wax, and after we will paint with some color. The most hard for me is to make straight line in wax, because it is not possible to make this line straight.
Then, Marina colored her egg with dyes, after covering the lines which should be preserved from the dye with beeswax. The dyeing process is pretty long since you use different colors and you have to let your egg dry between each dyeing. More and more young Ukrainians are coming to Zoya's workshops. According to Marina, making Pysanky is also a way to get closer to her Ukrainian heritage.
It's our nature, and we need to know it like our language and our traditions. I think it's very important to know from where we are.
In the end, Marina's egg will hopefully look like the template she uses with the 8-pointed star motif called Ruja. This sun symbol reminds of the spring coming after a long and dark winter, an appropriate choice for this early April in Kiev. Reported by Pierre Malechko, UATV.